years ago, Jordan asked me. Do you think Mahomes is the GOAT with the win?
The answer is yes.
Ooh,
The answer is no.
The
Coach, I can't.
So can I answer the question?
I couldn't have.
before you-
I looked at Coach, and it felt like he was on your side already.
Can I?
Sorry.
Well, Coach is open to it. I know
wanna
he
hear
is
Coach, but go
because
ahead. I
of
wanna
how
hear
much he values the
I want to
three-peat.
hear this argument.
But 7 years, 5 Super Bowl appearances, 4 wins, and a three-peat. 7 Final Fours. I know we only use that for college basketball, but 7 for 7 on trips to either the last game of the year or second to last game of the year. All-time playoff numbers already. And it's for a team that I know everyone talks about, oh, he walked into an amazing situation. Yes and no. Yes, Andy's a legend. And yes, the Chiefs, Tyreek was already there and Kelsey was there. Understood. He also walked into a team that had won 1 playoff game in the 25 years before he got there. So it wasn't a franchise people looked at like the Steelers or the Packers or, you know what I mean, is that this
But
franchise.
it wasn't Carolina either.
No,
I mean,
it was
they were
100,
making the
right,
playoffs.
100%. But it was, he walked into stability, but not greatness, which I think matters. And I'm going to use, because Brew might agree with me, so really against you, the Michael Jordan precedent. Brew, when Michael Jordan retired the first time, what did they put on his statue?
The greatest there ever was, the greatest there ever will be.
Okay, at that moment, Magic Johnson had 5 rings, Kareem had 6 and 6 MVPs, Russell had 11, Jordan didn't have the most MVPs in league history, didn't have the most championships in league history, didn't have the most anything in league history. Yet they put that on a statue. Here's Mahomes' resume compared to Michael Jordan's through the first retirement. Again, if he wins. This is assuming he wins. What's good for the goose, good for the gander, fellas.
Never lost the finals.
Where was the statue? Where was the statue?
Outside the United
there
States.
in Chicago.
In Chicago.
Oh, it wasn't at the basketball.
It
Hall
wasn't
of
like the league put it up.
No, Brew, hold on.
No, I mean,
Wait.
it was the Bulls that created the statue.
Put up the statue.
I understand, but it was. But hold on, let me ask
Nobody fought against it.
Right. Was it the general consensus that the greatest player ever is retiring from the league?
Yeah, outside that stadium.
No, on NBC with Costas and everyone. So the answer, Coach, is yes.
Okay. Wow. Talk about a desperate segment, man, if I've ever seen one. Ooh, that's a rough pause. Let's change that a little bit. There we go. A little bit more neutral there. Woo! Oh man, I'm laughing. That's funny. First off, you can see how intense he was out the gate, because he knows it's a bunch of nonsense. He knows it. Now he's trying to act like the Chiefs weren't that good of a, that he didn't go into a great situation. Andy Reid, all-time great. Spags, all-time great. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce were literal all pros before Patrick Mahomes got there. And to say, oh, they've only had 1 playoff win in the 25 years. Okay. Andy Reid got there and immediately made that team relevant. Andy Reid got there and for the first time in their existence won back-to-back, division titles. And they won, they did win a playoff game. They got a first-round bye. Did they win Super Bowls or no, they're not. They had Alex Smith as their quarterback, who Andy Reid made actually relevant. So yes, when you get a quarterback as good as Patrick Mahomes, you're going to be significantly better. But this was a team that were winning games, that were getting to the playoffs. Did Patrick Mahomes elevate this team? Undeniably. No one's arguing against that. That is the definition of a straw man. So stop with it, and he knows it. I love when Kansas City Chiefs fans bring that energy. How many Super Bowls did they win? Blah, blah, blah. No one's saying that Patrick Mahomes didn't improve this team. Get that through your heads. No one's saying, let me say it again. Nobody is saying that Patrick Mahomes did not elevate the Kansas City Chiefs. No one's saying that. But right, he didn't go to the Carolina Panthers. He didn't go to the Houston Texans. He didn't go to the Buffalo Bills. He did not do that. So just stop it. This is the Kansas City Chiefs team in 2018, okay? Kareem Hunt was balling. Things got a little weird with him that year. But then you had Tyreek Hill, Pro Bowl, All-Pro. Travis Kelce, Pro Bowl, All-Pro. Fisher, Pro Bowl. Schwartz, All-Pro. You know, that's just on offense alone. So, you know, again, let's not act like he didn't go into this awesome situation. Chris Jones was there on defense already. Had 15.5 sacks. D Ford, 13 sacks. Pro Bowler. So, you know, let's just relax here. He didn't go into this scrub team. So, and again, I've said this so many times, and Kansas City Chiefs fans just can't accept it, that it's actually a positive. They're trying to make this three-peat into the most amazing, legendary accomplishment that has ever taken place. And it's just not true. You mean to tell me that if Tom Brady ended up beating the Eagles in 2017 and three-peated, but then didn't win with, say, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that would have been more impressive? That would have been more impressive for them just to have three-peated? They just didn't lose, you know, they just beat the Philadelphia Eagles. If Gronk catches that ball, they go for 2, then overtime, and then win that game. That's more impressive? Because it's not. It's just not to me. Just like if the Kansas City Chiefs lost this year, but then won next year, or they lose for 2 years, I would be more impressed with the Kansas City Chiefs if they lost this year, then lost a couple more years, but then won another 2 times back to back or something. It would be just as impressive to me if they, you know, if they three-peated here and then just like didn't win. I mean, it would be more impressive to me, quite frankly. Like if they just three-peat here, but then let's say they don't win for another like 3-4 years or something, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. And again, these are made-up narratives, which is why Nick just brought so much energy. And now he's comparing it to Michael. When Michael Jordan retired, it was before he did this. And it's like, dude, that has nothing to do with anything. The heck does basketball and football have to do with anything right now? Like, what are you talking about? Seriously, what are you? That's one of your main arguments? You know you have a bad argument when that's your argument right here. Well, when Michael Jordan retired his first time, this was his win percentage. Because the win percentage in football and basketball are equal? Playoff wins and losses? Guys, this is a cartoonish. I don't even know what this is. Seriously, I don't even know what I'm looking at here. This is just absurd. Comparing this fundamentally makes no sense. None. Zero. What? Okay, you want to keep playing this comparison? Let's look up Michael Jordan's defensive numbers during those years. How was Patrick Mahomes fare defensively? Huh? Show me Patrick Mahomes' defensive stats. Show them to me. I want to know, what has he been doing on defense? Because you're conveniently leaving. How about how many points per game MJ scored? Compare that to how many touchdowns per game. Let me know. How many touchdowns per game has Patrick Mahomes had? I want to know. Yeah, exactly. Bunch of nonsense. Also, this is another one of my favorite things to do. Look at Patrick Mahomes. Look at that. 2,608 yards after catch. 6.8 yards after catch per completion. Tom Brady, 2,121. Patrick Mahomes is getting nearly over 500 more yards after catch and averaging more yards after catch per completion. Yeah, that means something. That means something. That's just 2018. Again, we know Nick Wright. This is now 2019. Nick Wright bashed Jimmy Garoppolo for not being that good, for just taking advantage of a good team around him, good coaching. Well, they averaged nearly the same yards after catch per pass attempt, 6.1. Again, Tom Brady, all the way down. Where is good old Tom? Tom Brady's all the way down here at the bottom, 4.9. That matters. That matters. What does that mean? It means you have a better coach who's scheming guys open, getting them to get a lot more yards after the catch. You're making the job a lot easier for your quarterback. 2020, Patrick Mahomes, number 1, yards after catch, 2,267. Tom Brady, 13th. I mean, that's real. That's a real thing. I mean, look at this. Patrick Mahomes led the league in 2022 in yards after catch with 2,853. He had 5,250 yards. Nearly half his yards were all after catch. That's wild. Second was Justin Herbert with 2,493. So again, nearly 400 more. That's wild. And he won the Super Bowl. Go figure. Remember, 2023? When people said, oh, Patrick Mahomes, not that great of offense. What do you want him to do? Led the league again in yards after catch. Above Tua. Remember he kept ripping Brock Purdy for just taking advantage of a great team? Had over 500 more yards after catch than him. More than Tua, more than Jared Goff, more than Sam Howell. I mean, come on. Again, this is clear. This is clear data. Can't cook it. Led the league. Yards after catch. Won a Super Bowl. So now, his last 2 Super Bowls that he won, both years, yards after catch. By a large margin. It's almost as if coaching has something to do with it. I don't know. What do I know? Well, this year, he's been carrying this team. All the injuries. Oh, what's this? Still top 3? Oh, and what's this? He didn't even play that final game. So if he played that final game, he would have also been probably 2. It's not hard to imagine that he would have surpassed Baker Mayfield. So again, still top 3 in yards after catch. Again, made fun of Jared Goff for taking advantage of the team and the coach and all of this. Yet, years, Patrick Mahomes still had more. So again, kind of weird how it works like that. Very weird. Very weird how the coaching and the team helps everyone but Patrick Mahomes. Nick Wright even himself admitted, Andy Reid is a legend. But doesn't affect, no, I don't know. And again, this isn't to say that other quarterbacks don't benefit from these things. It's not to say that Tom Brady never was on the positive end of having a lot of yards after catch and whatnot. But these things have to be put into context. Okay? You have to tell the whole story. And comparing Patrick Mahomes to Michael Jordan makes 0 sense. This is one of the dumbest graphics I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay? And people, you can't say that Tom Brady's the GOAT because he won 7 rings and then Patrick Mahomes win 4 and say that he's the GOAT. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And I'm not saying that Tom Brady is the GOAT because he has 7 rings. I'm not saying that either. with a win, what does it show? It shows that the Kansas City Chiefs are an amazing franchise. What does a win show? It shows that Andy Reid is special, that Spags is special, that Patrick Mahomes is special. Undeniably, it shows their greatness without a shadow of a doubt. But to just act like, yep, if he wins because it's a three-peat, then it makes them go, will it be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, starts to a career? Yeah. But this whole conversation is just made up mumbo jumbo. And again, what's so funny is that Kansas City Chiefs fans are going to take this and be like, you're a hater, you're being hate. And it's like, it's the opposite. It actually is. It's the opposite. I'm saying that Patrick Mahomes does not need to win here in order to be considered the GOAT. I'm saying that he could lose the next 4 Super Bowls and still be considered the GOAT. It would be more impressive to me to see Patrick Mahomes ball out in this Super Bowl and lose than have him play poorly and still win. That's the reality. Just like I'm not going to hold Tom Brady's feet to the fire for throwing over like 1,000 yards against the Philadelphia Eagles, but Nick Foles just balled and they won. I'm not going to blame Tom Brady for that. Where at halftime, the Patriots defense, before half gave up like 70 yards in a minute 30 right up until the Philly special, the trick play. That's Tom Brady's fault? No. Huh? It's Tom Brady's fault? Yeah, I forget who the field goal, who the kicker was, but he missed a field goal. Missed a field goal or an extra point or both, I forget. Like, that's Tom Brady's fault? Like, of course not. Of course not. Not to mention, Nick constantly uses head-to-head when it benefits him. Okay, so then do the head-to-head of Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. Well, they didn't have a good O-line. Okay, so then, again, if you say that, then you're admitting that Patrick Mahomes needs support. And if you're admitting that Patrick Mahomes needs support, like every player does, then you have to admit that he's had some of the greatest support of all time. Just Andy Reid alone. It's something that Mahomes fans just cannot accept. And they tie themselves into knots trying to make sense of it. The Kansas City Chiefs are the best team. We're the most dominant team. We're amazing. Oh, okay, so then Patrick Mahomes benefits from that. No, the Kansas City Chiefs aren't that good. It's Patrick Mahomes. Oh, so then you're saying that the Kansas City Chiefs are not that good. What do you mean the Kansas City Chiefs aren't that good? We're one of the best teams ever. It's like, well, you just said, like, I don't there's a word that I want to use, but I'm not going to use it. Some confused lost soul literally said that Andy Reid wouldn't even be in the NFL anymore if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes. That's the nonsense that we're dealing with. That's the delusion that we're dealing with. That's what I try to push back on. And again, people will come at me and say, like, I'm this, I'm that. Guys, I'm not the one that just tried to compare Michael Jordan to Patrick Mahomes by comparing the titles and MVPs and win percentage. Win percentage in football compared to basketball. Playoff wins and loss record. Oh my goodness. You guys want to tell me that I'm crazy, that I'm a hater, that I'm delusional, that I'm a clown. Guys, just look at what we're seeing here. Hilarious. Hilarious. That's why I skip a lot of this content, man, because it's nonsense to me. It's not even that interesting. It's really not. But we're in the Super Bowl. There's nothing else to talk about. But I this to me is a circus, absolute circus. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Patrick Mahomes? Do you think he's the GOAT with a win? I already know the answer that you guys are going to try to give, so by all means, feel free to give it. But let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.